Miles Morales was born in the old Ultimate Universe before building a new life for himself and his family in the main 616 Earth, but now, because of the Maker's machinations, Miles is sent on a treacherous trip into the new Ultimate Universe. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Ultimate Spider Man Incursion issue number 1 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we see that Miles has actually dusted off his old creative writing journal, a device that Ziglar used a lot back during the early days of the main Miles book. Though, as our hero says in his internal monologue, he hasn't felt the need to do any creative writing in a while as he's gotten a lot of his thoughts out in therapy. In fact, his life in general has been feeling really good. His mental health is in a good place, his family is happy, what with new baby sister Billie and adopted clone brother Jaime, he's even got himself a fancy new Wakandan suit. Still though, in his quieter moments though, Miles does begin to wonder what his actual connection to this world is, if any of it is truly real, or simply manipulated by the much more powerful hands of fate. In fact, we get some nice little flashbacks here to Miles' meeting with Molecule Man during Secret Wars, and of course his final run-in with the Maker, the evil Reed Richards, who is also an expat from the original Ultimate Universe. You'll remember the Maker had actually come to Miles and given him the choice to join him. In the new Ultimate Universe, Miles refused and even threw out the Maker's card, which he admits he thought was weird was blank. Though, hey, wouldn't you know it, like every teenage boy, Miles needs to start doing a better job emptying his trash, because wouldn't you know it, that very night when he puts his sister Billie to bed, she gets out of the crib, makes her way to the trash, and ends up grabbing the Maker's card, which in turn opens up a crazy portal. Miles, acting fast, ends up jumping through the portal to try and make the save, and thankfully because his suit is so new and high-tech, it ends up forming around him before he even ends up reaching his destination. Miles and his sister end up getting separated as Billie seems to fall somewhere in the jungle, which is almost certainly Wakanda. It's after that we transition on over to the city in the main 6160 universe. It's here we are introduced to the older Ultimate Peter Parker as well as his son, Richard, who are currently in the middle of doing their nightly hero rounds. I get the feeling this takes place sometime after the events of the new main Ultimate book. Father and son are interrupted when a series of strange black hole portals end up opening up in the sky, and if you're like me, you probably assumed, oh, Miles is gonna come through one of those portals, only no. These portals are actually the work of the new Ultimate Spot, who is actually so new he only just opened up his little orb courtesy of Iron Lad, got his powers, and hasn't even taken an official name yet. And why yes, before you even have to ask, he is indeed characterized like he is in the Across the Spider-Verse movie, dealing with a great feeling of inferiority that he is trying to overcome with power. Miles not only ends up taking out the Ultimate Spot when he comes from a completely different portal, but he actually gives him the idea to take that name for himself in the first place. In fact, that actually becomes something of a running gag throughout the book. Miles ends up coming face to face with Peter and Richard, and because this isn't his first rodeo jumping to other universes, he knows exactly what he's doing with, fresh supervillain, new Spider-Man, yep, this is another universe, isn't it? I take it you're Peter and you in the black suit, oh, please don't tell me you're Venom, are you? Only for Richard to go, well, actually, I haven't picked a name yet, but that sounds great. Oh my god, Miles gave him the name. In fact, that only becomes even more interesting when we stop and recall Miles's long-standing relationship with the Ultimate Symbiote and how it killed his mother in the old universe. Miles tells the other two Spider-Man about his missing sister, and obviously they jump right into action to help him out. And it's right around here the story ends up putting together one hell of an interesting character dynamic. Of course, up until now, so much of Miles's publication history has been defined by him being the young Spider-Man, the Spider-Man in training. And yet here, in this brand new universe where Peter has only been Spider-Man for about a year, Miles is now actually the confident veteran. So much to the point Richard cannot help but fanboy over this guy. I mean, look at him, he's so cool. He swings like a professional, only for Peter to understandably get his feelings hurt not only as a hero, but as a parent, too. I mean, I could swing like that if I wanted, but I'm an adult with a job, you know, I got a lot of responsibilities, I just don't have time to go out and start swinging willy-nilly. The trio search the entire city, but end up coming up with nothing. In fact, they search for so long, the Spot manages to free himself and tries to fight them all over again, only for Miles to once again one-punch him. He also ends up kind of breaking the fourth wall by saying, can't you tell we've all moved past you right now, and also, geez, you know, this multiverse stuff, it seems fun, but trust me, it gets old fast. Now, Miles' arrival in the new Ultimate Universe has not gone unnoticed. In fact, the Maker's cabal, made up of some of the biggest and baddest villains in this entire universe, all pretty much realize at once that Miles got here using very particular Maker tech, and they fear that his being here now may actually end up being a harbinger of the Maker's grand return. This basically means they all want to grab Miles for themselves in hopes that he will allow them to turn the tide against all the other members of the Cabal. Then of course you have the Ultimates, this world's answer to the Avengers, who are living much more on the run these days as they have been painted as public enemy number one. They want Miles too, because well, they could basically use any edge in this fight that they can get. They're also not nearly as afraid of Miles. They don't see him as the harbinger of the Maker, because if he was, well, they'd already be dead, wouldn't they? Now back over with Miles, him and the other two Spider-Man have scoured the entire city and come up completely empty-handed. Miles refuses to give up and gets very angry when Peter, in a very fatherly way mind you, offers him the opportunity to come crash at their place. Instead, Miles decides to just go completely stealth mode and search on his own, no matter the cost. Even though by now the agents of Hand are already on the loose, scouring the city looking for him, Miles can only think to return to his home, wondering if Billie may have gone there, only to realize that there's other people living in his house. It's only here when he stops does Miles begin to wonder to himself, wait, do I exist in this world? Does my family even exist in this world? What are the rules? Poor Spider-Man can't think about these things for long though, as the comic comes to a close, he ends up getting grabbed by Giant Man and Wasp, which you think might be a happy ending until you remember that Janet was revealed to actually be a double agent for Nick Fury and the Agents of Hand. Uh-oh. And so that was Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue number 1, and oh man, this was probably one of my most hotly anticipated comics of the year. CODY ZIGLAR has been doing so damn well with the Miles book right now, and everything that's been going on in the new Ultimate Universe, specifically the new Ultimate Spider-Man book, has just been great, and this really is two great tastes that taste great together. It's really nice to see Miles' evolution as a character. Like I said, in this story, he's actually the veteran for once, while everyone else is the newbie. Also, I gotta wonder if they'll actually explain or state anything concrete about Miles' connection to the old Ultimate Universe in this series. I mean, they did go out of their way to mention it at the top. After all, this new Ultimate Universe isn't the one that he and the Maker came from. But the Maker did say to Miles, "Let's go home," implying that there is maybe some deep secret yet to actually be revealed. Also seems like they're setting up this series to be something of a road trip story. Miles got to hang out with the Spider-Man in New York, and the next issue he's probably going to be hanging out with the Ultimates, taking a trip to Japan and Wakanda along the way. Overall, I think I feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. I am thoroughly hooked, can't wait to take this ride, can't wait to see where it all goes. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.